Hello and welcome to Aspects of Writing. This is your host, James Kelly. On the show this evening we have Morgan St. James, who's the author of The Mafia Funeral, The Silver Sisters Mysteries, and Writer's Tricks of the Trade. We also have Oksana Marfati. Is that correct, Oksana?
Marafiotti.
Marafiotti. She's the author of American Gypsy, a memoir of a Romanian gypsy childhood.
Romani gypsy childhood. That's all right, James.
What a way to start the show. And then we also have on the show via telephone Australian author Anthony Karakai. He'll be joining us here in a few minutes. I always like to start with fun facts or fun quotes, so we're going to start off with a quote by Brian Stableford. And Anthony, are you there?
I'm here. How are you going?
Oh, great. So how would you like to read number 3, Anthony? And Anthony is actually calling in from Melbourne, Australia.
Very far away.
Just a few miles, huh?
And it's tomorrow.
And it's tomorrow.
Yeah, it is. I'm in the future.
He's a future
guest.
Yeah,
I'll read number 3 for you.
All right.
Okay. English writer G.K. Chesterton once said, "I owe my success to having listened respectfully to the very best advice and then going away and doing the exact opposite."
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering how he knew how to read that, it's because he's in the future.
I am.
If you tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I wrote a book called Vagabond, which it's like a philosophical travel adventure, basically centering on the pursuit of happiness. Behind that, the main inspiration for it was basically I've been traveling probably since I turned 17, 18 non-stop, and all the wonderful things I had a chance to see and experience. I just really want to tie it into one book and try and share those experiences. I was actually born and raised and still living in Melbourne, Australia, and I grew up playing the drums since the age of 7. My family's very musical, so I've definitely inherited that trait and that passion for music. And yeah, I started writing when I was 18, some songs, just some random articles for different publications, and it eventuated into the book Vagabond.
And we're going to go into it a little bit later, but I know that your characters in the book, people were writing you about the jewelry that they were wearing or the artifacts that you described, and you're actually going to be producing a line of jewelry based on that novel as well, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes, I am. It's going to be fully customizable, so they can choose to have it in its original state. For example, there's a wooden cross that appears quite prominently in the book, but they can also choose to have it in gold or silver or whatever they like, so it can be personalized for them.
Anthony, what inspired you to write your novel?
My main inspiration definitely came from my love for travel. Being in Australia, it's so far away from everywhere else, so when people do try and work up the capital to go travelling, they usually go for quite a long time. So when I first turned 18, I went for 5 weeks across England, Spain, and Greece, and it set off the travel bug like something bad. You wouldn't believe it. Ever since then, I've just been travelling a lot to Europe, all around, and it was just, I guess, being inspired by the people I'd come across, meeting people from all walks of life, different ages, all there for their own reason, expats, doing a lot of reading while I was travelling. And I just guess I felt like I wanted to give something back to all the books that inspired me to love reading since I was little. And I just wanted to try and convey the experiences that I had, the great moments that I shared with different people through the book Vagabond. So those that are thinking about traveling or want to get away for whatever reason, I was just hoping to give them something to give them a bit more of a push to go and do that.
Well, just to clarify, Vagabond, it is not is it a true novel or is it a fiction?
It's fiction.
But it's based on your travels, though, right?
Based on my travels. It's got elements of magical realism, definitely, going for that Latin American style, but it is a fiction book.
And why did you decide to self-publish?
I decided to self-publish because I was just looking at how the industry was going. I mean, you've always got the paperbacks, of course, but then the whole new ebook technology started to really take off. And I was just having a look at all different avenues using social media, and I thought, I'll try and give this a shot myself. And, you know, at the time when I was sending off a few query letters to agents, I wasn't having any luck, really. You know, everyone comes across rejections, or, you know, sometimes some people don't even bother to write back, which is a little bit disheartening. But
yeah, exactly.
I thought, well, if I'm going to have such a hard time going that route, I'll just do it myself and see how it goes. And, lucky for me, it went on to become a bestseller. So it's the route I decided to go. Funnily enough, though, learning how to do the formatting of the book, that probably took double the amount of time of me actually writing it. It was quite a process to learn.
I think
HTML programming. And
that's, I think, the misnomer people have. They think that, writing the book is easy. I mean, it's hard, but actually writing the book is the easy part. It's the formatting of it, getting it ready for production, and getting it produced. That's the work part of it.
And promoting it.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely felt, looking back on it, that writing the book and editing and proofreading, I felt that was maybe 30% of the effort. So originally I came into it a little bit naive, thinking that would be 90% of the work done, but it was kind of like a drop in the pond compared to everything else you have to do.
Oh, we do have a caller online. Judy McFadden is online.
Oh.
Judy, are you there?
Yes, James. How are you?
Great. How are you?
And Morgan and Oksana.
Hey,
how
Judy.
Are you guys? I mean, we have met not too long ago. And
Like 2 days ago.
Like 2 days ago, and you guys were giving great advice. I mean, I know the listeners out there are just really getting a good chunk of advice. However, my question is for Anthony.
Okay.
Yes?
I wrote a book, Anthony, about a Scottish Terrier therapy dog. And soon after it was published, Australia just ate it up. I can't tell you how many online bookstores in Australia. Borders in Australia, after it was out, it was number one of the top 5 pet and domestic animal books. It's in the libraries at Brisbane, Newcastle, Melbourne, State Library of Western Australia, and it's on the internet, the website for the National Library of Australia. I didn't realize it. Is there an attraction for dogs in Australia?
I think all of Australia is such an abundance of wildlife. I think they love everything, really. Dog, like everyone down here is really an animal lover. I guess nature in the Australian environment is such a big part of growing up. I mean, going overseas, it didn't really cross my mind, but people started to say, there's so many dangerous animals in Australia, and you tell them a story about a wombat or a shark or something. I think coming from Australia doesn't register that that's a sort of a unique thing to a lot of people. But down under, everyone's really an animal lover. Dogs, cats, the works. So congratulations on your success. That's amazing.
Okay, well, I didn't realize that at the time, and they're just, that's just surprised me, and especially the libraries too. So well then I thought it was just the dingoes running around there.
Quite a few interesting animals down under. If you ever have the chance to come down.
Oh yes,
I did.
Yeah, Morgan.
Oh really? Yeah. Morgan, your son lives in Blue Mountain Ranges?
Around Katoomba, up in the Blue Mountains.
Yeah, it's a very nice area.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was there in September.
I'm going to get off. You guys have a lot more advice. And James,
Yes.
take care.
All right. Thank you, Judy.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Anthony, what advice would you give to an up-and-coming writer or author?
Similar to what Morgan was saying, just you've got to keep the faith and the passion in yourself. I think at the end of the day, you really can't rely on anyone but yourself to get the job done, do what it is that you need to do. Do the best you can to get it out there. Treat the internet as your best friend. Social media, it's really amazing the people that you can reach using social media. And stick to your guns and accept constructive criticism. Know as well that a lot of things are subjective, and just keep trying, and eventually you could be fortunate enough to get some recognition. When I first published my book, I thought, I'm from Australia, so I guess it's just going to be Australians buying it. And I've noticed the last couple of weeks, the American audience on Facebook and my website has eclipsed that by quite a bit, and then I'm getting people from France and Saudi Arabia writing to me about the book, and the internet's just amazing that way. You just never know where the book's going to end up and how it can inspire people, and the fans you can find across the world is just amazing.
Yes. Where can people learn more about your book?
They can go to my website, which is anthonykarakai.com. I've got a strange, unique surname, so to spell that it's Karakai. So you go to anthonykarakai.com. They can go to facebook.com/Karakai Books. And yeah, I welcome everyone to join me on Facebook, get into a discussion, just drop by, say hi, anything. I just love talking to everyone.
Anthony, I know that you're doing very well with your ebooks as well. Is that correct?
Yes. Selling steadily in a whole host of countries, which is great. Selling books in places I just never imagined I would. For example, Tanzania, which was an interesting little standout. I wasn't even ever thinking that someone from Tanzania would be reading Vagabond. I've just been, just trying to market things myself. Being self-published, it can be difficult. You're just trying to wear so many hats. You're trying to be the writer, the proofreader, the editor, the marketer. It can be difficult, but fortunate for me, I was discovered by a really good New York City literary agent who I'm currently working with.
Yes,
so
and congratulations.
Yeah, thanks a lot for that. It's definitely going to alleviate a lot of the pressure, and I guess he's got the required expertise and knowledge, which I don't have, so it definitely helps me out a lot. And in the meantime, I'm just writing my second book, which is titled The End of Athens.
All right. Anthony, in Australia, what is the mood like there as far as getting your books in the store?
Well, a lot of stores in Australia, a lot of bookstores like Borders, a lot of them have shut down, actually. I don't know if that's directly attributable to the ebook revolution, but a lot of them are, it's hard to kind of find those big major retailers these days. In terms of ebooks, from what I understand, it's not at the level of the USA or the UK or Europe with the Kindle and the iBook store. They're still catching on down here, but it's going pretty well. I mean, with the retailers shutting down, I guess that is indicative of the shift in power in a way. But I mean, every day ebooks are growing and growing. It's not quite that American level yet, though.
I'd like to thank my guests, Morgan St. James, Oksana
Marfiotti,
and Anthony. Anthony, are you there?
Karakai.
Yeah, there you go. You can find links and information about all my guests on the Aspects of Writing website. Aspects of Writing broadcasts live every Monday here on KLAV and on the internet at www.klav1230am.com. Future air dates are also on Aspects of Writing. And remember, if you can dream it, you can write it. Thank you for listening to Aspects of Writing right here on KLAV.